average, which are 4 pounds per day. Excess emissions equals 42 pounds per day and 2.8 pounds per day. 90% of the tax permit, which is already permit. 35.52 pounds per day or 4.8 tons of benzene. 4.08 tons of benzene in 230 days. Agriculture TOC credits may be utilized to offset these emissions at a ratio of 1.2 to 1, which will total at 4.9 tons of TOC. Now, there's two additional comments. One is that we need formal increments of progress to be outlined.
Before we go into that, I mean, what the APCD is going to recommend in terms of the offsets will be calculated at what actual emissions were during the time of the variance. So the ratio will stay the same, the 1.2 to 1. However, it's going to be based on what the actual emissions were during the time of the variance, not the model.
How often is that ratio that you mentioned? Surgical anesthesia.
We can establish that if you choose. If you want to do it, they can do that on their monthly reports. I assume they're going to be doing that anyway. So they're required to submit the monthly reports right now, so we can take that information. And then for the summation of the variance cross-reference, the monthly reports.
I would like to hear Caroline, you have a measure right now to determine your emissions. Are you doing it on a daily basis, weekly basis, bi-weekly, or once a month?
We measure weekly and report monthly in our monthly report.
So 4 times a month you average.
Right. When we did a prior variance, we calculated once a week times the hours, and we had a spreadsheet that we submitted to APCD that showed the emissions during that week and the estimated excess emissions for that period.
These measurements are internal measurements, or they are conducted by an outside contracting laboratory?
They're done by our internal laboratory, that's ELAB certified.
Okay, highlight on this APCD. So we've outlined the offsets, but as Mr. Poirez mentioned, we're willing to accept the actual to be offset, but we need to talk about the increments of progress. Ms. Callahan, do you have
The increments of progress were listed in item 10 of our application for a variance. Page 6.
So the system scheduled to be delivered on site by November 30th, 2008, installed by December 31st, 2008, and ready for testing January 31st.
That's correct.
And the final compliance date, February 15th.
Correct.
Now, this is progress on the control technology and the offsets. We're going to calculate them monthly.
Yeah, basically what we've done, what this board has done in the past is we're going to calculate them at the compliance date. When calendar if they comply prior to February 15th, then they have to notify us that they're in compliance, and that basically terminates the variance. That time we'll calculate what the emissions were. And we'll inform them that they have within whatever the board deems reasonable by which to surrender those ERCs. I think it's typically 30 days is what the board's done in the past.
Okay, so calendar has outlined November 30th, 2008, scheduled deliveries, installation by December 31st, 08. So we recommend those dates be taken as the schedule for improvements in progress.
That's fine with you, Craig? As set, as submitted?
Those are as submitted, those are current.
Okay.
Okay. Anything further for staff?
That's all for staff.
Any additional questions from the hearing board to staff? Okay. Craig, you have a presentation in your end?
Right, we do. We've submitted that to the board, and that's been entered as part of the record. We take our permitting requirements and compliance requirements very seriously. Last time we were here to talk briefly about the Cal Energy Environmental Respect Principles and our attempts to comply with all of the requirements that the district has established. For reasons beyond our control, we're unable to fully meet the permit requirements, and therefore we requested a variance. We believe we worked diligently with APCD staff and been very cooperative and helpful in trying to help us ensure compliance. Obviously, like I said, we encountered some unexpected issues. We talked about that in the variance hearing 0508. We routinely informed the APCD of the technology changes and sought their guidance on how best to proceed. We have purchased ERC credits and submitted those we're current as to date with the 0508 and other variances. Those have been in there. But the issue that we raised at the last time was the question of double offsetting for excess emissions. That is, we have a prior agreement, and that all was outlined in our presentation. We've met with Mr. Poirez based on the facts. What we recommend, Cal Energy agrees with the staff recommendation that the hearing board grant the variance request, and we believe we've demonstrated the statutory requirements have been met. We also ask that the board consider the Cal Energy request that we be only required to obtain offsets for the terms of the current permit to operate 2,000 H. That's 20 tons or $20,000. Alternatively, we're asking that the board, and we agree with the staff recommendation that the hearing board recalculate the excess emissions based on the actual emissions. Our request would be that the requirement of 2,000 H be set aside and be replaced with calculation that the staff has come up with. So, we reserve the right on other issues in this that may be related to the documents that we submitted to the group. One last thing is a little bit, I want to make sure we're clear on the staff had provided in their calculation of average excess emissions a copy of a report, our July 18th report. I think there's a misunderstanding. The efficiency column in the right deals with the hydrogen sulfide abatement emissions efficiency, not the benzene abatement. Abatement. There is no abatement at this point on units 3 and 4. So we ask that this, where it says violation in 3 spots, is not correctly characterizing the information that's there. But that relates to the hydrogen sulfide. With that, I just want to reemphasize, our commitment to work with the staff, work with the board, do the right thing, to protect the environment, to try and comply with the requirements as best we can, and have this system installed and operational for our variance application.
Okay. Any questions from the hearing board to the applicant?
I'd like to see what's the feelings of the staff or national APCD and their request.
You want to be specific on which request? We've got several on there. In terms of the 20 tons, yeah, that's the APCD's determination that that's a separate issue. This actually board has no jurisdiction over that agreement with the APCD and Cal Energy. Part and parcel of a different agreement with the previous management in terms of all non-methane emissions.